Ted Cruz is with us. Let's see if Ted... Hey, Ted. Ted.
Good morning, guys.
Changing a woman's diapers... a baby's diapers. Is that a wife's job?
It's a parent's job. I can tell you with our girls, I changed a lot of diapers. Heidi changed a lot of diapers. When a diaper needs changing, whoever's closest jumps on the grenade, so to speak.
I thought you were the
man. Okay, Ted, where are you today?
I'm in Indianapolis.
Okay. Can we start with the John Kasich thing? Because Donald Trump yesterday said that you were colluding and you should go to jail and everything else. But some of your supporters were a little surprised because John Kasich is not necessarily my favorite person. What happened? What are you doing?
Well, sure. What Donald Trump calls collusion is actually called building coalitions. It's how you succeed in politics. To win, you've got to get a majority. You've got to get over 50%. That's something Donald can't do. He can't get over a majority, so he's very, very confused. Listen, what happened with Kasich is simple. Kasich and I disagree on a number of policy issues, but we both agree that it would be a disaster if Hillary Clinton became the president, and that nominating Donald Trump ensures that Hillary Clinton becomes the president. And so John Kasich made the decision to pull out of Indiana and to focus his attention elsewhere. And I am all in Indiana. We are campaigning. We're barnstorming. We're in a bus traveling the state. I'm here with my daughters, Caroline and Catherine, and we're all in, and Kasich is concentrating elsewhere. And that was a decision about allocation of resources, where we're going to focus. I think it made sense for Kasich to focus elsewhere. It made sense for us to go all in on Indiana because Indiana is going to be critical. And our focus, I can tell you my focus is on beating Hillary Clinton in November, and the only way to do that is to beat Donald Trump right now, and I'm the only candidate that can beat Donald Trump and beat Hillary Clinton.
Okay, I just wanted to check real quick. You're traveling with your girls. I mean, your wife is there to do stuff with them. I mean, you're not as a man doing anything with them, are you?
Well, actually, no. Heidi is in Nebraska campaigning in Nebraska.
Whoa. We see who wears the pants in the family. Wow.
Now, Ted... Yesterday,
look, and I actually won that battle. So when Heidi was going to Nebraska, we asked the girls, okay, so do you want to go with Mommy to Nebraska, or do you want to stay with Daddy and do the bus tour in Indiana? And the girls, to my astonishment, voted for Daddy and the bus tour. So I got to
That's great. That's great.
Yesterday I took them out for ice cream, which may have something to do with it. I bribed them with sweets and food a lot.
I know.
Now, Ted, this arrangement, does it only include the arrangement with Kasich? Does it only include not doing ads and not barnstorming that state, or does it also include encouraging voters
to vote for the other guy?
Vote for the other guy in that particular state.
Look, we're not encouraging voters. We're not urging voters to vote for anybody else, and that's not anything I've done. Now, listen, I'll make a very direct appeal to John Kasich's supporters in the state of Indiana that I would ask for your support. That if you don't want to see Hillary Clinton as the president, if you don't want to see Donald Trump as the nominee, which ensures that Hillary becomes president, then I ask for your support because I'm the only candidate who can beat Trump in Indiana. And if we stand together, we will beat him.
But you're not conceding then necessarily New Mexico.
Yeah, you're not asking, and he's not asking anybody to go, because he said yesterday, I'm not asking my supporters to vote for Ted Cruz, and you're not asking your supporters to vote for John Kasich.
I trust the voters to figure out who to vote for.
Good.
So I'm not asking my supporters to vote for anybody else. I trust the voters.
Right.
Let me go with this. I heard that there is speculation that you might announce a vice presidential candidate this week. True or false?
Well, there's certainly speculation. There's always speculation in this process. It is true that we have begun seriously the process of vetting potential vice presidential candidates. I mean, we're less than 100 days out from the convention, and any serious presidential candidate needs to be doing the hard work of vetting the potential candidates and assessing them, and we're in the process of doing that. No decision has been made as to who the vice presidential nominee will be, and no decision has been made on timing.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't want to influence your thinking at all, but I just want to make sure. So you're not going to announce her name this week?
As I said, no decision has been made, but we're in the process of vetting. And Glenn, listen, just to comfort your concerns, you are still very much in the mix on that process.
No, yes, I'm sure I am. I'm sure I am. You've lost my vote.
You've lost my support.
You lost my support. So, Ted, what is it that, I mean, because I think Indianans, Hoosiers should know the difference between New York values and upstate New York values. What is the thing that is on the mind of the people in Indiana?
Well, look, Indiana is a state that is blessed with an enormous amount of just Midwestern common sense. And I think this primary desperately needs some Midwestern common sense. The priorities here, my priorities in the campaign are jobs, freedom, and security. Those are very much the priorities of the men and women of Indiana. My number one priority as president is bringing back jobs and economic growth to this country, raising wages.
Can I talk about that for just a second?
Sure.
Donald Trump's idea is he's going to bring these employers back. And as I pointed out yesterday, to try to bring Apple jobs to America, the Apple iPhone would cost $2,000. A $650 phone made in America would cost $2,000. So how is it? His idea is, I'm going to put tariffs so high that companies will have to bring their workers back. What is the difference between you and Donald Trump?
Sure, it's night and day. The difference is I actually know what we need to do to bring jobs back and have a real substantive policy agenda to get that done. Donald has no idea. You're right. He has proposed massive 40% tariffs on all imported goods. Now, a tariff is a tax. So Donald is proposing a 40% tax that you pay. It's not the companies that pay them. You, the consumer, pay it. It means every time you go to the store now and you buy clothes, you buy diapers, you buy a car, your prices will go up 40% under the Donald Trump tax increase. That would put us into a recession. Listen, the hardworking people of this country don't have the money sitting around to pay 40% more in Donald Trump's misguided taxes. That is a bad economic proposal. On the other hand, both Ronald Reagan and JFK before him understood that when you reduce taxes and you lift regulations on small businesses, that the effect is millions and millions of new high-paying jobs. So that's what my focus is going to be. Let's take here in Indiana. It's big news in Indiana that Carrier is leaving Indiana and moving jobs down to Mexico. And it's being driven out by the Obama administration's misguided rules and regulations and economic policies. Now, Donald Trump responded that he's going to punish Carrier. He's going to go after them with the power of the federal government and punish them for daring to leave. That's exactly, Glenn, the response of a big government liberal. That is the response of Barack Obama. It's the response of Hillary Clinton. We're going to put in place policies that drive you away, and then we'll use the power of government to punish you for being driven away. Here's the right approach. What I intend to do as president, I'm going to repeal every word of Obamacare. We're going to pass a simple flat tax and abolish the IRS. We're going to rein in the EPA and the regulators that are killing small businesses. The Department of Energy has issued more than 200 rules and regulations, some 50 of which directly hit Carrier. And we're going to stop amnesty and end sanctuary cities. And the effect of that, we're going to bring jobs back to America, but we're going to create such an attractive business environment in America that Carrier is going to come back, that companies are going to come back, not because they're being punished by Washington, but because we've removed the misguided barriers and we are now attracting business from across the world, creating jobs and raising wages for everyone in America.
I will tell you this, that it says something about America that Bill Gates has recently said the biggest mistake Microsoft made at the very beginning was Apple went and they hired lobbyists. Bill Gates believed that the government had no place in their business, and so they didn't do that, and that put them behind the 8 ball. Stu has a question for you.
A question about your tax plan. One thing I haven't heard really discussed at all is the universal savings accounts. So if I'm understanding this right, because you can save tax deferred for your first $25,000. So essentially, because almost everyone in America doesn't save $25,000 in cash per year, essentially your tax plan makes every dollar you save tax-free until you spend it maybe multiple decades later. Am I reading that right?
That is exactly right. So I'm campaigning on a simple flat tax, 10% for individuals, 16% for businesses. And everyone can save up to $25,000 a year in a tax-deferred universal savings account. Now, the government doesn't micromanage what you can spend your savings on. You can spend it on education. You can spend it on retirement. You can spend it on health care. You can spend it on buying a brand new speedboat if you want. It's your savings. You've earned it. Spend it on what you want. But every year, up to $25,000 can be saved tax-deferred, and that is a tremendous incentive for investment, for economic growth, and it will help people who are struggling accumulate assets and climb the economic ladder to have a better future for their kids.
Ted, I have about 2 minutes, and I've got to stay on track. So let me ask this question: on the bank saving accounts, we're seeing haircuts happen over in Europe. We're seeing bail-ins happening in Europe. One of the things that people slam you about is your wife worked at Goldman Sachs, and that's a bank. Can you tell us that you will not bail out these banks, and you will not allow banks to do a bail-in and take people's savings away?
Under no circumstances will we have a bailout of any bank or any business. I don't believe in bailouts. I oppose bailouts across the board. And yes, my wife worked in investments, helping people invest in stocks and bonds. She had nothing to do with lobbying or government or anything else. She just helped people invest their savings.
She's a globalist. That makes her a globalist, Ted.
Yeah.
So wait, I just want to make sure that I get also from you that you are firmly against bail-ins as well, and you won't let banks take people's savings accounts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean that is confiscation of our assets, and I would fight passionately. That will not happen if I'm elected. You know, Glenn, I do have to say, today is election day in 5 states. Let me encourage, if you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in Maryland, if you're in Delaware, if you're in Rhode Island or Connecticut, if you're listening to Glenn Beck, you are a principled patriot, an American, a conservative. I ask you, please come out and vote. The media believes every one of your states are suburbs of New York City, and because Manhattan has spoken, you must follow them. I ask conservatives, come out and surprise the media, cast a vote today, and in a week I call upon the good men and women of Indiana to do the same. If we unite Republicans, we're going to win this primary, and we're going to beat Hillary Clinton in November and turn the country around.
I'm guessing it also wouldn't hurt if they stopped by tedcruz.org and maybe made a donation.
That's still up.
Bless you, and there are people all across the country. tedcruz.org, tedcruz.org, tedcruz.org. Every penny you give goes immediately on the air to communicate a positive, optimistic, conservative message.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ted. And I'll see you on the road. I think tomorrow. I'm joining you in Indiana. God bless.
Fantastic.